Alright, kids, so for today, we are finally going to start our famous person grid picture. If you remember way back on the first time that I was with you, you selected a person, I gave you a black and white picture. Okay, so you're going to get this grid. It is 14 inches this way and it is 14 inches this way. We have to number this grid first. So you're going to start at the top left, and that's your 1. Nice and tiny, nice and light. You are going to have to erase these later. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and so on. When you get to the bottom right corner, you should get to number 49. If you get any other number other than 49, you have not done it correctly. You may have doubled a number or skipped a number or something. Okay, so double check your work. Remember, these numbers have to be light. You do not want to see them in the middle of your poor person's face when you're done because you couldn't erase it because it was too dark. All right, so lightly number your grid first. Alright, so my grid has been numbered. Now I'm going to take a peek at this picture, and if you notice, the grid that's on here, hey look, it stops at 49, just like my grid does. So everything is great so far. You should also by now have one of these. This is called a viewfinder. Okay, it is no different than aiming your phone at something and taking a picture. The screen of your phone would be the viewfinder. It focuses in on what you're taking the picture of. This is to make your life easier when you go to draw this picture. So, you're going to want to start at the top row and look at anything that you might have to draw. So in my picture, I can see that number 1 and number 2 are all black. I don't have to do anything with that. I'm not even going to shade them in. I'm just going to leave them alone because we'll paint that later. Okay? My work begins in number 3. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to isolate number 3 like so. Now I'm not worried about the rest of the picture confusing me or messing me up. Okay? So I'm going to look at number 3 on here. And I'm going to draw what I see in that box into number 3. But remember, this box is twice as big as that one. So we have to enlarge things. So you look at where your lines might have to start and stop. And you are making these shapes and wiggly lines and whatnot bigger. All details count. So really pay attention to what you are doing. Do they have to be absolutely exact copies of what you see? No, but they should be close. These are just wavy and wiggly lines. Don't overthink this project. Small white dots count, so you want to get them in there. Okay? At least for my little picture, that's what I have right now. Yours might be different than mine. It might be easier, it might be harder. Just remember to break this down into very simple shapes and lines, and I'm sure you will be successful as all my classes in the past have been. So then I move to the next spot with my viewfinder, and I look at where the lines meet what I've already done. So I can see that right now, I've got a little end to this, right there, and then I just keep working my lines off of one another. We have already practiced this when you first started with me. So you continue your work block by block until you get all 49 blocks finished. Cleaning up some minor details here. So essentially you can see that in number 4 on my picture, okay, which is this, they are very, very similar. You can see this particular shape right here. Is it exactly the same? No, but it's pretty darn close. Mine is a little bit short. I could probably make it a little bit longer to make it look better. Okay, now once you have finished your picture and you have gotten all 49 blocks drawn up, okay, you are simply going to take a Sharpie and you're going to start to very carefully go over your lines. That is going to make life much easier for us when we go to paint this with black paint. Okay, so the other thing you can do with the Sharpie, any really tiny black dots and stuff like that, okay, you can use the Sharpie to fill that in because we can't fit a paintbrush and stuff like this. Okay, so you can just fill that in. This one, okay, that is extremely skinny, so I'm just going to fill that in. And again, we're just very carefully going over every single line. There is one other thing that you want to be careful of. In situations like little white dots inside of black areas, like right here, okay, you don't want to let the Sharpie bleed into the middle of those and fill it in because they need to be white. So what you do is you very carefully go around the outside of the shape, like I'm doing here, instead of going right on the line, like that. That way our Sharpie doesn't bleed in and fill this shape in. We want those white. Okay? And that is all for the first phase of this project. If you manage to get this entire thing done in one class, which you probably shouldn't, we will talk after that. Just raise your hand and ask me what's next. Sharpies are up front where they always have been, in a blue bucket. When you're ready to use them, you just go up and get one. Take your time with this. Try and get all your details right.